Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of Detroit, the Dark Reflection. Our scene is going to begin tonight with one Ductus Christian Cobras, as he is endeavoring to increase and refine the firepower that the Sabbat can bring to bear upon the enemies of the sect. Christian, what is it that you have in mind for us that our resident Tremere is tinkering with?
Well, when it comes to fighting against the adversaries of the Sword of Cain, typically one would seems to fall back upon rather archaic means of dispatching one's enemies, primarily because, as many elders on both sides of the fence have stated, guns mean nothing to a lifeless heart. So Christian's about to he's got it in his mind that he wants to allay that particular claim. After all, a big enough bullet can cause quite a huge hole in even a dead creature's body. And well, let me put it this way: with some of the things that he knows about firearms and some of the things that he feels that he could probably create, Christian feels a little bit more grandiose. And given some of the rather eccentric projects that he's been part of, and also that he's been privy to, both in the sense of the Sabbat themselves, and for certain, shall we say, rather ambitious undertakings that certain groups around the world have been pushing towards. He got the idea mostly from reading an internet article about magnetic acceleration. This idea gave rise to, actually reminded him of a certain concept which had actually been put forward mostly in a something to be mounted on the side of a battleship, or mounted on a tank or something like that, obviously with a great deal of power. And in order for something like this to be feasible, it requires a lot more looking into. And Christian, being the mad scientist that he is, and some of the certain contacts that he's made, or been made aware of, should I say, he gets the feeling that perhaps certain creatures from beyond the realms of our imagination, beyond the realms of the sight of ordinary human beings, and even most Cainites, might be the best to consult about this idea. And so he decides to switch on his hermetic sight as he starts this particular night strolling around the university, searching for spirits of high technology, spirits of stasis, the ones which he recalls Professor Gleason referring to as pattern spiders, the rather metallic-looking spiders that seem to create this never-ending ebb of webs around these inner cities, which Christian finds rather fascinating and yet disturbing at the same time. And he also, before he goes out there, he'll take a handful of batteries, really large. There's really large ones, not double A, but the single A ones, the ones that you put into flashlights and things like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm familiar with those.
Just basically take like a good handful of them and put them in both his jacket pockets. Just start searching the university for these spirits.
Sorry. Yeah, there's no roll that's required for to turn on the hermetic sight, right?
Yeah. I need to. So right, one. Oops, that doesn't count. Right, that's 3 successes. He's going to be good for a good 3 hours or so.
Okay. You can search the premises. You can see little trail starting to, like, I'm sorry, not trail, but like a traffic, almost like a traffic line of little spiders as they lead their way inside the university. Um, and I'm assuming naturally Christian's going to follow the trail. You see,
Yeah, he is.
yeah, they seem to spread out and going multiple directions. You see some going towards the lower levels. Some are, but you see the main traffic kind of going up the staircases, heading to the department that you've already been, a department you've already been to before, the engineering department. And it looks like the thicker the track's getting, also each individual spider is seeming to get larger.
Hmm. Yeah, Christian, as he sees this whole thing, he's probably going to try and find somewhat. He's going to try and find a somewhat like. Well, he's going to check to see if anyone is around. You know, anyone is particularly watching. Seeing him, or anyone who's just happens to be nearby, because we don't want to be caught like going into, well, speaking to nowhere, because reasons.
What? Well, I mean, it's kind of late at night, and it's a skeleton crew. Might see some security officers, but they have night classes going on the campus, so no one's really. I assume that Christian's acting very natural.
Yeah, and he'll act as natural as he can, as he basically tries to find some place that's relatively isolated, and he's going to try and look at this. He's going to look at this trail of ever enlarging pattern spiders, and then he's going to activate the astral cant, which works perfectly. He can speak to them for however he needs to. And basically what he's going to do, I'm assuming they're on the floor or on the ceiling or something like that.
Yeah, you see that they're concentrated in lines along the crevices of the ceilings and the walls.
Yeah.
Kind of like pouring through the crevices of the doorways into that engineering department.
Yeah. Christian is going to take, after he's activated the astral cant, he'll take out like a pair of the batteries that he had in his hand, and he actually go to the closest pattern spider that seems to be the one that obviously will probably, well, he'll look at the one that is probably closest to him and like extend the batteries out to them. I have an offer. If you have time to speak, little spider.
You see a single spider. It's probably about as big as the palm of your hand at this point. It regards you. You see its little claws kind of reach up, trying to touch the battery.
Christian will naturally let them touch the battery, or at least the physical representation of it, because reasons. I have a problem that I need one of your friends, your brothers. If I follow this trail, will I find the one that I'm seeking?
So let me understand. You're trying to ask.
I'm basically asking the pattern spider, with payment of the batteries, to bribe them. Quite obviously, I have a problem involving technologies. If I follow this trail, will I be able to speak to the one in charge, as it were?
I guess I don't know if the spider would understand what you mean by one in charge.
If it's a pattern spider, or if it's my interpretation of a pattern spider, it would think, person who is up on the higher in the totem pole, the higher in the hierarchy, as it were, because it's a spirit of stasis, so that it's kind of everything for them works like a pyramid. At least that's the way it was explained to me, anyway.
Okay. You'll see the spider try to take the battery with it, and it will just kind of separate itself from the line, and it will approach the door again, but it'll stop to regard you. See if you're following.
And Christian, knowing that, Christian probably will go inside at that point, unless common sense dictates that I should really, make myself not visible.
I'm sorry, say that again?
I said he will go in there unless common sense dictates that he needs to make himself not visible.
You want to just give us a perception alertness check?
Okay, I think it's... Let me double check. Yes, it's cool. 3 successes.
All right, awesome. You hear that it's pretty much dead inside. I mean, nothing... You don't hear, any people inside.
Okay. He'll go inside, in that matter, following the little pattern spider.
Okay. Well, the place looks empty. You notice that this is the room that you've been in before, where you found some of those military crates and some of the projects that they were working on. It seems to mostly be gone now. I mean, the whole room isn't barren, but those particular objects, they've been either put aside somewhere. It looks like whatever they're working on now is completely new thing. But as your eyes are following the pattern of the spiders, I'm sorry, the pattern spiders. I don't know why I said it that way. They are coalescing around the figure of a spirit. It looks almost like it has some kind of hood over its, what you would think would be a head, and its hands are being laid out upon a table. And on this table, you can see what looks like to be a frame of a gun.
Looking at this particular gun, could I do intelligence firearms, or?
Yeah, you can.
Okay. 3 successes.
Well, what you notice about the gun is that it looks like it's stripped bare of its parts, but you notice that with the barrel and what should kind of look like the grip, it's about as long as a rifle.
Mm-hmm.
But the housings of the gun and everything else, they're kind of spread apart. It looks like, from what this spirit and the pattern spiders are doing, they are kind of filling in those spaces, and you can see a kind of energy that they're generating.
Christian, assuming that he can... does this particular room have any, excuse me, staff only, basically any, keep out signs or anything like that? Anything that basically, if he were to walk in there and someone were to see him in there as he is, would they object to his presence there?
It would depend on who you walk in. You are friends with some of these professors. But is there a keep out sign?
Yeah, basically anything that because I'm not Christian. I think common sense will probably tell me that I shouldn't assume that I can just go anywhere and not expect people to like ask me what I'm doing.
Okay.
I'm assuming anyway.
Yeah. Well. I mean, well, there is a keep out sign, but it seems to just be hung up. Like no one's actually put it out. You may get the idea that someone else was working in here shortly before.
Mm. Right. So in that case, I think Christian is. I'm assuming that the lights are switched off or still switched on.
No, they're still switched on.
Okay. Christian's, probably going to go into the room, close the door behind. Obviously, check to before he goes in there. He'll check to see if there's any like cameras or anything like that.
Inside, no, there's no cameras inside.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so he'll just go in there and approach this this table where the spirit is, and he'll start taking out the batteries, and placing them one by one on the edges of the you said it was like kind of like a design or a blueprint.
It's the actual pieces itself.
All right. Right. You'll put the batteries on like one particular side, just like put them, in within vision of the spirit, one by one by one. Greetings, mighty spirit of technology. I have an offer for you.
Its hood kind of turns just to listen, but you see his hands are still working.
On my side of this plane of reality, myself and my peers have enemies that we need weapons to fight against. And I am willing to negotiate for a price to have a weapon such as this. I know the concept of a weapon that uses magnets to propel a projectile is neither an original one nor an easy one to construct, but it's one that I have found a certain fascination with lately. And when I put my mind to things, I make sure that they get done.
The spirit will kind of nod its head, and it will you'll see it kind of brush away all the spiders, and a light starts to shine from the table itself. With its finger, it's going to gesture for you to look closer. What you're going to see on that table, now this looks like a schematic, but you're going to have to make me an intelligence craft roll in order to decipher it.
Okay. 4 successes.
All right. You get a very good impression of what this spirit is kind of communicating to you as it has understood the gun. It's almost like as if it saw the gun, the idea you had in your head, and it's projecting it into a real 3D kind of schematic.
If Christian can, he will quickly find something to write on and write with, and he'll like copy down the schematic as best he can, according to that 4 successes.
It's still a instructional room. You could find something on the teacher's desk.
Okay. And once he's done that, he will, naturally thank the spirit and give them, a couple more of the batteries, to as bribery.
Mhm. You'll see the spirit kind of pocket it.
Thank you, Great Spirit. I hope we can continue this mutually beneficial relationship in the near future.
Yep.
And he'll quite naturally, might give a slightly courteous bow, and he'll, presuming he's got all the details of this schematic on one page, he'll rip it off whatever notebook or whatever that he's got, and put it back along with the pen, because pens are quite an accessory in universities.
Mm-hmm.
Pocket the particular design, and he'll leave that particular department.
Yeah, the spirit just kind of gives you a gesture as it waves you away, going back to its business. Okay, so you have this schematic in hand, and yeah, from everything that you copied, I'm going to say it took you a little while to copy it all down for good notes. Maybe it took about an hour, but at least you have all the details of the schematics and what details it that the spirit had conveyed in it. Yeah, so you notice right away that the spirit, through the schematics, it's communicated kind of power source you'll need, the type of material that's going to take in order to make the housing and the barrel for the gun itself. You get right away the idea that like normal steel isn't going to work. It looks like it's using some kind of galvanized plate.
Yeah, like some sort of alloyed steel or something like that. Something like stainless steel, but obviously, more suited towards high temperatures. I think it probably would. Because my own knowledge of sciences and things like that is quite limited. But from what I've seen about these things, the idea using magnets to propel objects, that's going to create a lot of heat.
And just it's conductive.
Yeah. Do I have any idea of how much? Well, I say how much. How easy these materials would be to get?
To buy them outright would be a little pricey and a little bit of time. Plus, it's going to throw up some red flags. But it wouldn't be hard to develop them yourself once you get the components.
Right. So, I shall stop fiddling with my beard because this little bit here keeps annoying me. Once he's back into his haven, Christian's going to pick up his phone and start to call Mac, because he's a bro and he knows shit.
Yeah, the phone rings and Mac will pick up. Yo, what up? Let's go, Cobras.
Mac, my bro. How's it? You're not too busy, are you?
At the moment, I was actually just coming back to the city. I got some shit I was working out, next door. But yeah, what's going on?
I believe I may have come up with yet another ingenious means for the sword of Cain to, how shall I put this, cause a great deal of mayhem to the pawns in the Camarilla. And would you like to see it?
Oh, word? Yeah. Sure. I could swing by. Where you at?
I'm at the university. Though, how about I just come to the little club that we've arranged up? Unless you'd want to go to the former Archbishop's little church, parish, whatever you want to call it.
Oh, you didn't hear that place got burnt down, homie?
Oh, it got burnt down. It's a bit unpleasant, isn't it?
Yeah. You know what? Don't worry about it. Why don't you come and meet me at the auto shop?
Yeah, sure. It'll actually be proper as well because, well, I think this might be a little bit up your alley as well. You can even help me construct the thing. Though I'm probably going to have a bit of a time trying to find the fucking materials. Either way, I'll see you in about half hour.
All right, I'll be there. And Mac will hang up.
And fast forward with Christian turning up outside of Mac's auto shop. Yeah, naturally he'll probably have like his jacket on. I'm just going to put this on because it's conveniently situated behind my my seat, my chair, excuse me. And it also looks like quite nice. Also goes well with this Terminator shirt as well.
Yeah, I noticed.
Funny, I'm wearing this T-shirt. It says 45 long slide with laser sighting, and we're doing a scene about making new guns, futuristic guns as well. So yeah, Christian will probably like show up, and he'll, assuming that the place is still open, he'll kind of like just go straight to the garage. Mac, my bro.
Yo, I'm over here. You'll see that there's a car, his car. Probably seen it before, the Cadillac. He was just kind of working on a tire. Yo, what's up, Christian? It's good.
And Christian will probably look over his shoulder, look to see if there's anyone else here before he'll take the schematics out of his hand. Out of his hand, I should say.
Yeah, you see like two other people in the shop, but they're kind of just doing their thing. They're not really paying any attention.
Yeah. Christian kind of like, once he takes the paper out, he'll start unfolding it, kind of look around. Now, this might be a little bit over your head, but either way, and he'll show him the schematic. What do you reckon about that?
Let's see. I'll be fair and roll max intelligence craft for 2 on that, and with his science.
Smart man.
All right, he looks at it and he's like, I. So, like, yeah, Mr. Cobras are. You know what? This reminds me a lot, and don't think me silly, but it kind of reminds me of that gun in Fallout 4. Have you played that shit yet?
I've fleetingly seen things about it, but I'm assuming that you're referring to the rather unpleasant little instrument known as the railgun.
Nah, not the railgun. The Gauss rifle.
Yeah, that's kind of similar to what I was thinking with this, because well, it's a little bit more feasible than creating some sort of laser that can cut through human beings and things like that. That would be quite awesome to make, but unfortunately it's not really my area of expertise. But if I can just be feasible with you, my bro, I'll actually start to fold up the piece of paper and put it back into his jacket. Do you remember, well, have you ever heard the old phrase amongst our kind, guns mean nothing to a lifeless heart?
Yeah, but that's why you got to aim for the head. But I get
three. Well, I was kind of thinking, what if we made the bullets go faster, hotter, hit harder,
Yeah, I see what you're saying. All right, so like what you looking for like some hardware, so some hand here, some handiwork done?
Well, here's the thing. A lot of the materials that I think would be ideal for creating these weapons, ideal in the sense that we want the weapons to last, and we don't want them to blow up in our fucking hands when we pull the trigger. They're going to be quite hard to come by, both as, a matter of expense, and also because, certain materials, certain equipment here are kind of a little bit, maybe less than legal, maybe a little bit on the suspicious side, you know.
Yeah, I follow you. I follow you. Yeah, you know, it's like it's almost like we're creating a motor of some sort. I'm talking about like like an electric motor, like the original cars do, because we're gonna need a power source in order to propel these things. But you
Hmm.
know what? Maybe if you take my suggestion, if all right, so you got to get this bullet propelled, magnetically speaking. Well, you ever seen like how two magnets will propel each other if they're facing the same direction? The same magnetic
Yeah,
direction.
same magnetic pole. Yes, I did a lot of that during high school. I had very many hours of amusement with it. You can tell that I did not quite have. Well, in the advent of maturity, you find that certain gifts start to emerge, as it were. Magnets are not magical, despite what the insane clown posse might say.
Never heard of them, but yeah, I mean
You're
that.
not missing much. And
Uh,
they're actually from Detroit, so I'm actually quite surprised that you haven't heard of them.
I don't mess around with clowns.
Yeah, me neither. Even though I got embraced by one.
But yeah, I mean, like like, a lot of the basic stuff we got right here in the shop. I mean, it's out there in the scrapyard, but we can get it. As far as the rare metals, actually, I think there's a place that I was thinking about, like looting.
Hmm.
One of those kind of how do I put it? They're like a science lab. You know what I'm saying? And they kind of like are like industrial paid scientists. I mean, these are the kind of guys that be working on like new alloys and shit like that. So
Vulcanized rubber and all that nonsense.
yeah, yeah, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like whole engineer squads. So maybe we could roll over there and I don't know, take a peek, see if we can grab something.
Yeah, that does sound like it would be a rather feasible idea. Hmm. Just the two of us, or do you think we're going to need a specialist to get us in?
Nah, yo, more people, more problems.
Hmm. Oh yes, and I'll recall that you know how to make yourself invisible.
Oh yeah, yeah, no doubt. Once I get in there, don't worry, we got the whole place open.
Grand, grand. I've learned a few tricks of my own. I'll be invisible. I'll be the cat, as it were. Little cat burglar. You won't find me. You won't find him anywhere. But that's my own little trick. So all that matters now is hmm, what do we prioritize, and oh yeah, what's the industry called, or the
Oh,
place that called, I should I say?
oh, having to come up with something on the fly. I'm gonna call it the Roxxon Corporation.
Good choice. Good choice.
A few people think that.
Yeah, yeah. That's me getting back for all the times in Montreal where you were asking me questions that I didn't know the answer to. Uh,
Yeah.
I
Uh,
jest. I loved it. I loved every moment.
Me too. All right, you'll see that Mac is he's gonna start to change. He's gonna put on like what he'll tell you is kind of like his thief suit. It's just a menagerie of black jeans, black shirt. He's kind of dressing the part for a thief, kind of going archetypical. Um, but you also see him take out what looks to be like a modified grappling gun. I mean, it looks like it used to be one of those harpooning guns, but he's changed around a few of the parts to fit a grappling hook into it. See, I've been to that place before. The shutters, they got all the doors shuttered down with the steel gate, but at the roof is a latch. They don't expect someone crazy enough to go shooting a fucking harpoon gun in the middle of the street. They don't know me like that.
Well, I'd have to look at this place myself before I could get a decent idea, but if you've been there before, well.
All right. So, yeah, is there anything Christian needs to do before he gets ready to go?
I can't think of anything off the top of my head. Probably, I don't know. Well, we're just going in there to check shit out. So, no weapons to speak of. Well, with the exception of probably a stun knife.
Yeah.
And yeah.
All right. Okay, so you and Mac will hop into the car. Mac will drive you over there. You notice that it's kind of it's a building that's much taller than it is wider. It looks like it houses a lot of different. How can I say this? God, architecture across the pond. It looks like each floor is its own workspace. Like it doesn't look like they're subdivided to smaller apartments, but each floor is dedicated to something different. I mean, I guess that's the best way I could put it. But Mac, he's gonna pull up to an apartment that's across the street, and he's gonna tell you, "I got a friend inside. Don't worry. He's gonna let us get to the roof." And I'll get out the car with you, and he'll hit a buzzer. Someone will ask, "Who is it?" Mac will tell him, like, yo, it's me. And get buzzed inside. Brings you upstairs. You guys walk up maybe like 8 floors, and knock on the apartment. Like, don't worry, this is some dude that gave him blood. He's in the know.
Mm-hmm.
When the door opens, you'll see this. The guy looks kind of worn, although he sounds like a young man. He introduces himself. Like, "Oh, what's up, Mac? Haven't seen you in a while. Hey, what's up, guy?" Saying to a Christian.
What's up, my bro? Which, Christian's got a very thick Afrikaans accent, so yeah, quite noticeable.
Like, "Yeah, man, name's Gene. All right, boss, come on in. What's good?" Mac will just explain. Yeah, he's gonna need to get to the roof, so if he doesn't mind using the fire escape. "Oh, no problem, no problem. Mi casa, su casa." And yeah, funny the kind of friends Mac has, but
yeah, I've noticed. Then again, I've been told I have some quite strange friends in real life.
Well, you guys are gonna get on to the fire escape, and it's a little bit of a climb from the edge of it, but I'm not gonna actually roll anything. You can do it. Mac's gonna set up the gun. You see that he kind of pulls out of a backpack. I forgot to mention they brought a backpack with him. Something to kind of hook the gun in place, and he's going to fire it across the street onto the other building. I'll say willpower roll, just make it a success. I mean, he'll spend the willpower point.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, this is where the fun comes in. He's gonna look at Christian like, "Yo, you ever walked a tightrope before?"
And Christian will probably just kind of like narrow his eyes at him. Not like he's like been offended or anything like that. It was kind of like, really? My sire may have been a clown, but never in my entire life have I done any of his, tricks or anything like that. I have my own tricks. Speaking of which, are you positively certain that no one's going to look up and see us climbing across the street like a bunch of little ninjas?
Well, ain't no one gonna see me, pal.
Fair enough. You'll have to give me a few moments to get my own little thing going. And Christian will actually probably I'm not. It doesn't actually. Well, the ritual doesn't actually have any material components to speak of, but basically he's going to use donning the mask of shadows. I need to roll intelligence plus occult, and I'm going to spend a point of will for this. It's difficulty 5. It's a good thing I did. So that's just the bare minimum 1 success.
Okay.
It'll be good for an hour or so. So yeah, basically you see Christian kneeling and saying this chant in this this low chant in this really obscure dialect, some sort of Hermetic dialect in Ocean maybe, and his form just seems to go a bit shadowy.
Okay. Let's see. So for Mac, using Unseen Presence, level 2. He's gonna make a Dex Athletics roll. I'm gonna say the diff for this is gonna be 8. 2 success.
Mm-hmm.
You can see that Mac, he does his best. Sometimes it looks like it kind of wobbles, but yeah, he's able to walk. I mean, I guess crossing the street would be like at least 15 feet. No, maybe 20. But yeah, he crosses the rope. Good time. He's on the other side.
Mm-hmm. If I can get this bloody thing to work. Yeah. And once Mac's on the other side, Christian will have his own little go at it. Right, you say it was what, Dex Athletics?
Yes.
Right. Not too confident about this, so I'm going to spend another will. Oh, good. You said it was D8, right?
Yeah.
Right. That pure 1 success. That failure would have been fatal. I'm just going to knock off the willpower expenditures. Those last 2 rolls haven't been too good.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so once you guys are across, Mac is going to lead you over to fire escape. Not the fire escape, but a door that leads from the top floor onto the roof. Let's see. He's going to break into the door. Dex larceny. 6, 8. All right. He's able to break in without tripping the alarm by going through the key panel. It looks like he kind of ripped it out and hotboxed it, but was able to get to the pins and the locks. All right, now you guys are inside.
Mm-hmm.
So once you're inside, yeah, Mac's gonna lead you down into the you guys are gonna go down like 3 floors, and he's gonna say, all right, well, see, like this area is as far as I've gotten. 2 floors above us, those are kind of like how do I put it? Kind of like for advertisement and shit. But this floor right here, this is where the good stuff's at. See, they got all the equipment that we need in order to like fashion guns from scratch. But let's go see if they got any materials left.
Sensible choice.
Well, yeah, he'll lead you into the workshop. Kind of has to break into another door, but I'm just gonna give it to you. Give it to him. When the workshop opens up, yeah, you see like a lot of different workbenches and cages with stored materials, sheets of metal. You see like an industrial sized metal sheet cutter, because you see some of the gauges on these things are very thick. You see the type of machines that actually curl and press the barrels and all of that.
And I'm presuming that quite a lot of this stuff, and considering how much we probably need in order to actually fashion together what we're trying to design, it's going to be quite heavy and quite difficult to move across a little tight wire.
Well, you can either break out through downstairs, through the front, through a back entrance, or yeah, I could call up my man and just like we could like chuck the shit over the side or send it down the rope and they can get it from the other side. I mean, the rope does have some strength to it.
Or we can take a third option and be a little bit sneaky with this. Do you think that they have sales and orders, automated orders here?
Oh yeah. I get what you're saying, right? We just like direct a shipping order to somewhere that comes up for us, and like we fudge the numbers, make it look like it got paid for.
Yep. And when they come, you know, if they come and they deliver it and we have it, if they come back asking for payment or anything like that, well, I think we can be a little bit creative in the way that we deal with that solution when that issue when it comes.
Mac is nodding. He's in agreement. Like, yeah, that seems like the most reasonable solution.
Well then, that begs the question, where do they keep their... Where can we find a terminal that is connected to that?
Well, Mac will tell you like, well, we can go back upstairs and probably you'll probably find a terminal up there.
Okay.
All right, he'll lead you back upstairs, and you guys see like, and it's kind of dark there. I don't know, maybe you sense that Mac is using his auspex, but there are some of those. How do you say? I don't want to say emergency lights, but kind of like the lights that they would just have naturally on that just are fed the building. But yeah, trying not to draw any more attention. Mac will lead you into the office, and you can see that it's kind of one of those offices that are divided into cubicles. Everyone's got their own like little space and whatnot. You can see 2 doors. One that says shipping supervisor. The other one that says site manager. Their own separate offices.
Okay. Right. Shipping officer, site manager. I reckon shipping officer would be the most sensible solution. Or sensible choice. Is the door locked?
No, it's not locked. You can just walk inside. You see that he has his own computer terminal there. Just got to power it on, turn it on. Might take a minute. That's all.
He'll do just that. Obviously, he'll before he does that, he'll ask Mac to watch his 6 and let him know if anyone's coming.
Oh, of course, of course, of course.
And yeah. So how many computer roles do I need to do?
Turn it on, go into booting. Honestly, just one computer role. I mean, yeah, I guess breaking in with the password is that, but yeah, just one.
Okay. Depending on the diff, that's 3 successes.
Okay, it takes you a few minutes, but you get it.
So yeah, basically Christian is going to orchestrate, basically create a kind of order, put it into the system, and it probably might take like maybe a week to like really come up to these guys. But once the order has been made and is in the system, it's got to go through the process. Printouts have got to be made, and payment will presumably be assumed to have been already put into the bank account. And yeah, you'll fudge around with things, trying to make it as legit as possible. But yeah, once it gets to the point about where it's addressed, Christian will probably ask Mac where he wants it delivered.
Mac will just tell him have it brought to the auto shop, because if anyone has any problems, he can handle them.
Yes, and he'll obviously get the details, the address of the auto shop, and like type it all in. And away we go.
There you go. All right. So how let's just say how much material do you think Christian would have put in for if in order to fabricate as many guns as possible?
Obviously, we've got to go for the prototype. So I'm guessing you'll probably go with the 5. maybe like a little bit left over for like spare parts or replacements or anything like that. But
All right. So with that done, then yeah, you guys can make your exit.
Okay, and we'll go out presumably the same way they went in, because I think going out through the front or back entrance, considering the way we got in, it would be kind of a little bit more of a hassle than it probably would be. And there's also the issue of security cameras. I mean, true enough, what Mac probably would show up on those security cameras, Christian would definitely not. Well, not with donning the Mask of Shadows, but a very shadowy figure. With no way to identify them. That's kind of a bit on the breach of the Silence of the Blood and all that.
All right, so yeah, you get back across. I'm not gonna make you roll again. You guys get back across safely. You're in Gene's apartment, and Mac will just lead you to the car. If there's anything else you got to do, Mac will drive you to your destination.
No, well, obviously, when he gets back into the apartment, Christian will dispel the mask of donning the Mask of Shadows. Yeah, in fact, that probably might give Gene a bit of a fright when he sees this shadowy thing come, and then
Gene is Mac's goal. He's already seen enough.
Oh yes, of course, he saw it when he actually. So yeah, once that's done, Christian will say thanks to Gene and thanks to Mac, and just ask him to like drop him off at the university.
I can drive you there.
Thank you very much, my brew. Let me know when all the material is around, and we'll see what little mayhem that we can do when we construct these things. Might take us a while, though. Electronics, they're quite on the sensitive side. And who knows who's in charge of these days?
Oh well, damn. Well, what I heard through the grapevine is Shiloh might be coming bishop soon, and right now the Priscus is kind of just looking for a few good men in order to step up and handle the challenge. Right now, I'm kind of stuck in Chicago. I'm trying to make sure that the crusade will happen. Bishop Eric was kind of handling that, but since she got her ass whooped by the Inquisition, now I'm trying to put some targets in place for the rest of us.
Personally speaking, I'm only just saying this to say my piece. I think we kind of need to settle the issues here at home before we start committing to these crusades. I mean, they were quite audacious moves, I will admit, and moves that we do need to make. But, there's no point in trying to... I mean, what is it that they say about coveting your neighbour's house when your own is completely up in arms? Or something to that extent, I don't know. It's English stuff.
No, I totally agree. But since Aaron, started shit, ignited the entire fire, I'm just trying to make sure it doesn't come back to us, and at least we have something to work with already.
That is true. Well, whomever that will be getting to power, perhaps when we create these things, we can show them how to use them, and well, I think we'll prove our worth. Despite our obvious, should I say, disadvantages when it comes to some of the more populous clans.
Yeah, I hear you. At least now with the Priscus kind of running the show until whomever wants to claim the Archbishop's cap, we at least got a little bit more wiggle room to do our thing.
And who knows? Maybe after we've finished with Gorse, we can move on to something a little bit more eccentric. I mean, I've been learning a little bit more about the electronics. I've been learning about sciences and things like that. Thinking about making a few more things that might go boom. Who knows? It all depends entirely on the resources that are available to me.
Yeah, I feel you. I've been thinking about kind of getting my capital up for a while.
You'd make a good bishop, I reckon.
Word, you think? I mean, I'm kind of just like, the shoot 'em up type of guy.
Hey, if you've got knowledge of the Rite, which I do believe you do, and you were the priest of your peck, weren't you?
Nah, that was my sister. I don't know a damn thing about the rights, I didn't get involved in that.
Well, in that case, perhaps we can arrange for some mutual exchanges. I mean, well, His Grace, Cain rest him, taught me all the other Ectorus Rite that I was not already familiar with. And I do believe that, every bishop should at least have the knowledge of the Rite that they have, should I say, an affinity towards. Because, if you're the if you're the Bishop of War, you're going to need to know the Valdery, the War Party and things like that. If you're the Bishop of Punishment, the Bishop of Justice and things like that, you're going to need to know how to do a proper monumency, because, those can cause quite a few problems with inappropriate abuse and things like that. And then there's also the issue of what you would need to do if you're the Bishop of Moral Fortitude or the Occult, or, morale and things like that. You're going to need to know there's certain Octorus Rite, like the High Holidays Rites, the Contrition Rites, the Or the other tours writer, yeah. I'm a little bit preoccupied with this thing, so you'll excuse me if my mind is elsewhere than on our Dark Father praising.
Well, all right, I see what you're saying. Like, yeah, I mean, the more power you have, the more you know, or however the hell that saying goes.
Yes.
So, if you want to show me something one of these nights, we could do a barter.
Hmm. Well, we'll leave that for another night. I think we've had quite a bit of excitement tonight. And I look forward to working with you on these things.
Yeah. No doubt, Christian. You stay up, and I'll let you know when the shipment comes in.
Hmm. Well then, my bro, I shall bid you adieu. And good
All
night.
right. Yeah. So you see.
Praise Cain.
Oh, yeah. Praise Cain. You'll see.
Don't know why I did that. That's
No,
so Japanese.
it's all right.
I do that with my Quasian character.
It's all right. You'll see Mac drive off, and if there's anything else Christian wants to do before turns in.
No, we're good.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. This was Detroit: The Dark Reflection. Stay tuned. Tune in again. Have a good night.